might be alive.
What? What? What?
Change on some screens. Howdy, folks.
Hello, everyone.
Friends and family across the globe, and welcome back to the finale review of first time playing Resident Evil 0. This is the two OGs, Chill with Jack and Jill.
Yep.
And if you're new, do not do tips, tricks, guides, walkthrough, speedruns, 100% trophies, or achievements. I just play games for fun. Share them with you. No reason. Just to kind of harken back to that feeling, those days when you just hang out on the couch. It might be a bit more difficult to do now as you're older, because life takes people in different directions. It can be kind of harder to organize it. And I figured, you know what? Let me throw my voice on the internet, so whenever anybody wants to hang out, they can just pop on one of these videos, and hopefully it feels like you're at home. Huh. That guy did not show up for a minute. You know what? We have to go back that way anyways, because we gotta go through that.
Yeah.
To my subscribers, I want to say thank you to each and every one of y'all, because if it wasn't for you, these videos wouldn't be happening. I can promise y'all this, as long as one of you stay subscribed, the videos will keep rolling. Grab by run my computers. Oh yeah, I should do this, right? Oh, is it X or C? Let's do C. Might be C. I forgot hotkeyed. I hotkeyed like 4 or 5 of them. And you know what? I'll recommend this game. Especially if you're a fan of the old style. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Now we got that one up, huh? Right.
I did enjoy doing that one, though.
Heavens to Murgatroyd.
What is Murgatroyd? Is that a real place?
I looked it up once. I forgot what the answer was. Oh, I gotta do this. For whatever reason, it's always not on. Probably go a little bit slower this time around because we got top 10 lists we gotta do, and I want to make sure we don't run out of time.
Yeah.
And we'll be checking out some other stuff. And I threw a gauntlet down challenge for you, so that adds a little bit of extra oomph. All right, and I think a top 10 list was top 10 things we. Oh, I already wrote down. Miss prior graduating high school. Using our age. Right.
Yep.
And the challenge I have for you, well, you can answer it in one big block. I'm going to give you a heads up ahead of time, or if you want to piecemeal throughout it. But my recommendation would be go game by game. I want you to make a Muppet Resident Evil. Take the characters from Resident Evil and assign different Muppets to those characters. If that makes sense.
Okay. Are we looking to fill a specific game or just characters in general?
As much of the series as you can fill. There's no requirement per se,
okay.
But just to keep going for as long as you can. It doesn't have to be in bursts. Or one long kind
Just
of...
whatever kind of comes to mind.
Whatever comes to mind, whenever,
Which happens a lot, It'll just pop in my head and I'll be like, oh, hey.
And y'all at home, you're more than welcome to play along.
Yeah, play along. Throw something in the chat. Maybe I'll steal it. I mean, think of it first.
Top 10 list is top 10. Top... do it like this. Top 10... No. Things we, I guess, miss. I don't really get nostalgic, but just for titling this. Prior graduating high school? Doesn't that seem...
Yeah. Things we used to do prior to graduating high school that you don't really see anymore, or isn't done anymore, or can't be done anymore, or just, I have one or two on my list that I think isn't done anymore. Not that I go out and research this kind of stuff, but
Prior to graduating high school. I like how I put these now in the chat instead of putting it in the title.
Well, I mean, you can be a bit more wordy, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't pull away from the title space, nor does it restrict me in what I can put down. Don't get excited, folks. Just know.
And my ghost for today, I went ahead and got another one of those sour strips rainbows because I liked it. I am someone who likes slightly sour things, and this and the sour pink lemonade ghost are not that sour. Just about my level of sourness for me to enjoy. Let me pop this open.
Sour Dour Hour. I'm going to knock out my number one. Might be on your list. Malls, proper malls, where it was basically you would go to the mall after school and be there all day. Because there were so many different things to do. People to meet up with. It was almost like a society within a society. And the neatest thing I always enjoyed about it was you would meet people from different schools and different areas because you'd all go to the mall. Right? You'd all go to the same mall. You just came from all over the place to hang out there. So people you wouldn't even run into in your daily life. And you'd kind of create your own kind of...
clique? Maybe? Clique?
Like a mini society, your own at time hierarchy. You'd have your own rivals. I remember, especially like in the arcades, there'd be, that one person on that machine that you'd always run into, and you hated each other's guts because you'd always be fighting against each other in Marvel vs. Capcom or something. And that was like your relationship with that person, but it never got like, hateful or anything.
That is on my list, so that'll go ahead and be my number one too. Malls.
And if you didn't want to do the arcade, maybe you catch a movie, then you get something to eat, and then you go to the arcade, then maybe you peruse the bookstores. It was one-stop shopping, right? And there was just so much to it.
Get the music store.
It was basically an amusement park.
Yep.
Yeah, the music stores.
And I actually worked in a mall my high school years at the family baseball card store. We had two locations, our main location, and then we had a mall location. I actually worked sometimes in a mall location and also upstairs of the mall. This is the Silver City Shopping Center, I think it was called, in Taunton, Massachusetts. I worked in like an upstairs, it wasn't really a kiosk, but it was like a separate thing where we had like autographs and stuff and some card stuff. But anyway, food courts in malls, right? There was always something. You didn't have to eat the same thing every day. Plenty of unhealthy options, especially back in those days. Malls, you can just hang out and even if you had a night with your friends where you had no idea what to do, you could always go to the mall.
Yeah,
just chill.
Cause trouble or just...
Oh, yeah, you could be obnoxious, avoiding the mall security.
Right.
There's always a shop you can go to for whatever, no matter what you were looking for, or bookstores. Toy stores.
I used to get a lot of my VHS anime from a mall, Cordova. Had a really huge store with a huge selection of anime I would buy from. Never scraped up enough money. I don't know what it is now. I think it's like a jewelry store.
Yeah. Now we know there are still malls around, but I think what with how
pale shadows of them.
The online shopping has gone up and everything, and I used to frequent a mall when I lived in Phoenix, in Scottsdale. What was the Fashion Square Mall, I think, or something like that it was called. Basically, I would go there because I would go to that Harkins Theater, not because of the mall, but sometimes I would walk around the mall and just check out the stores, and they were just all like, I mean, they were all mainly expensive clothing stores, but then again, that might have been just just the Scottsdale area. I think is more upscale, but it certainly wasn't the same as like when I was working at the mall in Taunton, or even Cordova Mall. Until more recently. But then you have more familiarity with that. The mall in Valdosta, Georgia, that I used to frequent growing up. Or the mall in Panama City, because our grandparents lived in Parker, Florida, which is right by Panama City. And I remember that mall because it
had an Aladdin arcade, right?
It did have an Aladdin arcade. Oh, nice callback. It had like this play area in the middle with like this kind of wall you could run up. It was like a carpeted wall. I mean, it wasn't like a wall straight up and down, but it was slanted. You could run up it and slide down it and roll down it. They used to have puppet shows there. I remember that mall very, very fondly.
Yeah, I think I bought the Live Shit Binge and Purge tour box set there.
Oh, I remember that. I got that for Christmas. Wow. You know what? I remember that might have been my favorite Christmas because I got that, and I remember getting, not to go off on a tangent here, I believe I got NHL 94 that year too. One of the best sports games ever made for the Super Nintendo. But anyway, malls, yeah. Everything about malls, old school malls.
The thing about malls I loved was it kind of gave you a place to go to hang out, where even when you're doing absolutely nothing at all, you still felt like you were doing something.
Yeah.
And it was a lot easier to find like really cool and neat places. I remember when University Mall here had a used video game shop. So that's where I got a lot of harder to find video games back in the day. Whereas to find something like that, I would have had to drive all over, Pensacola or all over town to try and find possibly a place. But no, I could go there and then immediately go get something to eat. It saved on the drive, and it saved on gas.
Yeah. Oh, how about when Spencer's was more than just a Funko depository?
Right.
Yeah, Spencer's used to be cool. What happened, Spencer's?
When I was in there, I didn't see too many Funkos. I did see a wall of shirts. It was like a worse... And Hot Topic was already pretty worse from what I remember, but it was like a worse Hot Topic. They sold candles and T-shirts.
I haven't been there in a while. I just kind of assumed Funkos are everywhere.
When
GameStop is a Funko depository.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's all Funko.
3/4 of that was nothing but those big-headed Funko things.
And dear subscribers and listeners and viewers, I despise Funko. If you work for Funko, nothing against you. I just hate that big-eyed weird look that they have.
They kind of remind me of those troll battle dolls.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember them. When
With
they
the weird hair.
Troll dolls and made them into like...
The battle, yeah, they did, yeah. Had to do something with them when people stopped buying the regular troll dolls. Gotta soup them up.
They had a TV show and a video.
Yeah, they did. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was a beat 'em up. Side-scrolling beat 'em up. That, you know what? The 90s was the era for side-scrolling beat 'em ups. So don't let anybody tell you different. Oh, son of a milky way.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have maybe one or two more possible crossovers on our list, but I knew that one was gonna be on both of ours.
I'm trying to remember where I'm supposed to go, but I'm not in any rush. I mean, we got a long list to go, and I feel like we're close to the end of the game.
I think we are. Did you get that key card? I didn't look. You gotta get.
Yeah, I gotta get the key card. I still also have to look in this room because I just came in here for the acid rounds, and I think the handgun bullets. okay, it says broken.
Okay.
My number 2.
Have you ridden? Sorry, have you ridden on a gondola yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how we get in here.
Okay. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
My number 2 is going to be, even though I'm an old man at this point, I don't want to grow up, because if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. The awe that you would feel when you were younger walking into a warehouse-sized store. Talking like Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Size store. And I remember fondly, and a lot of times I use it in my openings too, right? Where I talk about how I try to play games out of the box without you having to mess with stuff. Similar to if you went to Toys R Us, you got the slip off the wall, you had to hand it to the cashier, you had to give them the money, they give you the game.
Yep.
Then you bring it home, you take it out of the package, you put it in the console, and you press start. And also the excitement of watching, I think there were a couple shows maybe, but I remember they'd have the supermarket like rushes, but for Toys R Us.
Yes.
Kids would...
They did.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's another one that's on my list too. I didn't put Toys R Us specifically, but I put toy stores.
So like KB.
KB.
KB
Yep.
was always a solid one.
KB was usually in the malls. I don't think I've ever seen a KB outside the mall.
No, they had
to have had him, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I always remember KB as being the toy store where if you wanted to make sure you were gonna find either something really obscure or quality, usually it would be at a KB.
Mm-hmm.
You could always tell because they had that toy soldier.
Yeah, it was the like the Nutcracker type toy soldier. Yeah. Or no, it was a toy. It wasn't a Nutcracker, but it looked like the same outfit. Toys R Us, KB, and I'm going to extend mine to. I don't know the name of the place, but in Germany we used to always visit, and I kind of wish I found out where this location was. I remember routinely visiting this one city and going to a specific toy store in this German city. Yeah, get ready. Oh yeah, there's a battery.
There's a battery. No.
Yeah. I remember, I can picture it in my mind. It's one of these things, I've said before, if you might have caught it if you listen to our other videos, and you should. I don't have the best memory, but I do vividly remember this toy store in this one German town that we used to visit, and like I clearly see it in my mind. We would always go to this toy store and I would get something. So just toy stores in general.
Toys and Shiza?
Before I leave, I'm gonna actually see if I can talk to the overlords and see if they can help me out with this memory. But yeah, Toys R Us was oh man, it was heaven. It was heaven for kids. Jeffrey the Giraffe. And we all remember the jingle, right?
I'm just wondering, why don't I just run?
Did you get the battery?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there a door on the other side, I think?
There is, but it's locked.
Oh.
Oh, maybe that's what the key card's for.
Might be. Did it say anything about needing a key card, or it just said it was locked?
It said it was locked. Come on, Billy.
I hope you went, Billy.
How bad are you? You're fine.
He's fine. And I want to clarify something on this list for me at least. Like a lot of the stuff I complain about is going to be like, or not really complain, but talk about fondly in the past. Old man yelling at cloud type stuff. Like I understand how convenient things are. Like I'm not saying I don't not like being able to go online and order, like I order pretzels, unique pretzels unsalted because you can't get them in stores. So I order them online. Like I like being able to do that because otherwise I wouldn't be able to get them. I mean, maybe there's a store somewhere that has them, but I understand the benefits of that. But there was a certain, I don't know, I don't want to say magic. That seems like maybe a fluff word. Anticipation and I don't know. You're usually good at filling in the words I'm meaning to use. Maybe it is magic to, like, you know, joy to knowing you're taking a trip to the mall or you're taking a trip to Toys R Us, you know, and can just spend hours walking down the aisles looking at everything.
In a way, I liken it to... Look, let's be honest. By the time we were born, basically everything's been discovered. But in malls, it's almost like you're on a safari. You're on the hunt for something maybe you missed or something new.
Yeah, and sometimes you never knew when a new store would pop up, you know?
Or when the arcade would get a new machine in.
Yeah. Okay, so you just decided to run
Yep.
to the battery place, right? We get to the battery, right? Get that key card.
And figure out what that key card does.
Yeah.
I also apparently unflooded the canal.
Yes.
So, there is that.
Oh, don't forget your little stash of herbs there. I do not think. No, wait. That ain't right. Never mind. All right, forklift is ready to be used.
My number 3 is going to be a personal beef.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm kind of speed running through this because...
got a beef on it. Okay.
Not needing to wear frickin' seatbelts. I don't like to be kind of constrained, tied down, anything like that. I get it. Safety, it does make you more safe. But back when it was an option, I never wore my seatbelt. That was it. I find out restrictive, uncomfortable. But obviously, you know, I wear my seatbelt because, one, it's the law, two, it is safer.
Do you remember growing up in Germany? How we used to always get on your case because you would always be sitting up.
Like in the middle or something?
In the middle, yeah. You'd be standing up in the middle and we would, you know, want you to sit down with your seatbelt on.
Yeah, I was a daredevil.
Yep. I remember that fondly. Hey, one that's not on our list together.
But you're as short or small of frame as I am, almost every car becomes a limousine. So I try to treat it as such. But yeah, I do. I kind of miss that, being able to not feel a seatbelt pressing up against me as I'm driving. Well, goes the answer.
Well, at least they had they were nice enough to label it, right?
I do not think any of that is actually words. That looks like DSJHGIKS. So
Huh.
I think they just kind of mashed buttons on a keyboard to make it look like words.
They made a cat. A cat made that.
A cat made that.
I'm going to go up with my number 3 that I thought for certain would be on your list too, unless you were including it with malls, but I had a separate entry for arcades.
Yeah, I kind of included it with malls.
Okay.
But,
I had a separate entry for arcades.
I think I kind of touched on mine when talking about how you'd have like rivals at certain arcade games, and there'd be like a community around it.
But I'm going to expand on mine a little bit. Because as I mentioned before, I don't have clear memories of many things, but I remember the arcade in the Valdosta Mall very vividly. It's where I played a lot of classic games, stuff like Kangaroo, Congo Bongo, Dragon's Lair. The mall in, I've mentioned stories before about the mall at the Taunton Mall in Massachusetts, the Silver City Shopping Center. The arcade where every day before work, because I worked upstairs right next to the arcade, I would spend an hour or two, in the arcade, primarily playing NBA Jam because I held all the records on that specific NBA Jam cabinet, playing as the Utah Jazz. I remember you and I being at that arcade once and getting in trouble. Do you remember that?
No.
Okay, because we were doing the whack-a-mole.
Probably using our hands, right?
We were playing co-op on the whack-a-mole, yep. And we got in trouble. They did not like you playing co-op on the whack-a-mole. Wow, that could probably be an entry too, but for those of you who don't know, Whack-A-Mole was a game where these little mechanical moles would pop out of the machine and you would hit them with this foam mallet.
They had a variation as well of alligators that would pop out.
Okay.
If you remember.
Oh, like not up out of the hole, but yeah, forward, yeah. And you would get these tickets, and you could turn tickets in for these real cheap prizes. I guess they do that at Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz too.
Not anymore.
No, they don't do that stuff anymore.
They have like a giant iPad. I'm not even joking. Their games are like giant iPads with mobile games on them.
Really?
Yeah, it is bare bones.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I guess that could have been another entry.
That is on my list. Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, it's not on my entry, but I'll talk a little bit about it when we get to it. But so my number 3 is arcades. Fond memories of playing the classic, which is kind of what made Going to the Ghost special that we did this past week. Catching up with a lot of games that brought back memories of being in the arcades. The noises, the smell, whether you think the smell was good or bad. Taking your report card to the arcade, and you would get tokens depending on the grades you got, right?
That's right.
Like 5 tokens for an A, 3 for a B, something like that. Probably not that many, but
yeah, definitely not.
Putting your quarters up on the cabinets for next.
Oh my God, yes! I remember when Mortal Kombat dropped in the mall in Taunton or whatever it was, and you could not fit a quarter on that machine because the lines were so long. And you know what was really, since I'm bundling arcades basically into my mall option, the really neat thing about arcades were they were, what is going on with their feet? You see that?
Yeah.
Going through it. The way sound would play, you could close your eyes and tell the quality of an arcade based on what arcade sounds you could hear emanating from it. You know, like if you were walking by it and you heard or Combo Breaker.
Oh yeah.
Right, or X-Men.
Yeah.
Because again, arcade machines were made to drain you of quarters. So they would make their machines loud and try to get you pulled in that way. Yet, despite all the sounds that were blasting in Galloping Ghost, it was kind of almost like a zen state for me.
It was. Yeah.
Kind of blended together into like a white noise.
Mm. Yeah, I'm not. As I've gotten older, I've not been a fan of noise, but for those noises, I really didn't mind as much. Now, if I had to work there every day, I don't know. Well, I guess at one point you would just get used to it, right?
Right. I guess since we did bring up Chuck E. Cheese, I'll just knock it off as my number 4. You do not know how depressed I was when I went to Chuck E. Cheese for a relative's birthday. Johnny's.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to be like, it just was, it felt like a shell of itself. Where it used to be filled with arcade machines and even the animatronic guys are gone. They have now like a screen, like an LCD screen.
Oh, no. That's horrible.
Yeah.
Why even go?
Is it still Chuck E. Cheese?
I have fonder memories because in Panama City there was a Showbiz. Showbiz. I went to Showbiz more than I did Chuck E. Cheese with the gorilla. I forget his name.
But you know what? It combined the two things kids love, and then I'll get off it. Arcades and pizza.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a carnival too, right? Because that's where you get the tickets for the prizes as well. And it was basically an arcade, but it also had a ball pit, which most arcades didn't have.
It was a brilliant concept.
And it had animatronic things that all looked freaky. And if it wasn't for them, I mean, the precursor to Chuck E. Cheese, of course, you wouldn't have something like Five Nights at Freddy's. People wouldn't know how terrifying those things are.
Yeah.
Oh, frog. Oh, okay.
Oh, man. Yep, you're dead. Oh, no, hey.
That's not the gamma, is it?
Yep.
That is a terrible gamma design. That's just a giant frog.
Yeah.
Ones in Outbreak were basically hunters with just frog heads.
Yeah.
With no eyes, if I remember. Wow, those are bad. What the heck is this? Oh, the
I'm pretty sure they're gammas. Let me see if they're something different. Gods know I've been wrong on this game before.
Honestly, every Chuck E. Cheese also seemed to have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and or Turtles in Time. It had to have been like a contractual thing. That's what it felt like it was.
Yeah.
And the best part is I never knew a kid back in the day that was like, crap, I'm having my birthday at Chuck E. Cheese. So yeah, a lot of the stuff on my list, it's not, again, I'm not really a nostalgic kind of guy. I just wish that younger folks out there, I really feel, I would have liked to have seen younger people have these same experiences. Even if it wasn't the standard norm like it was when we were growing up. But maybe like aren't they doing something with the Pizza Huts, I heard?
Oh, I don't know.
They're making them like 90s style, or someone's trying to make them 90s style, opening them up. I think AVGN went to one. So,
I mean, that's another thing that could have made my list then, is growing up, going to old school Pizza Huts.
They could do the same thing with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Sorry, I was looking this up. I sit corrected. That is not a hunter gamma. It's called a lurker.
Oh.
I probably knew that at some point and just forgot about it, so I apologize.
There are no gammas in this.
I do not think there are gammas in this, so. I think I just called them gammas because the gammas had that amphibian type look to them. My bad.
Remember the trick. It's not a trick, but reload his weapon. Make sure you switch back to Rebecca.
Let's see. So we did malls, arcades, toy stores. My number 4. This will be short and sweet, and I know this is not on your list. And for all I know, they actually still make these, or they came back at some point. But when I was in high school, I wore Zubaz pants.
Oh, okay, yeah. Zubaz.
I had the ones with the little skulls on them. And, okay, this is a true story. It's kind of embarrassing. Well, no, it really is embarrassing. So I'm going to tell it anyway. My best friend when I was in high school, we would frequently go to the mall sometimes together, and at one point we had both bought the same Zubaz pants and showed up to school the next day both wearing them. That's my embarrassing story.
Fashion faux pas, right?
Yeah, fashion faux pas, especially in high school. I mean, not that we really cared that much, but I had the Zubaz pants with the little skulls on it, and I thought they were badass. Would I wear them now? I mean, probably. If they were given to me, I wouldn't buy them. But Zubaz were these crazy pants that you could buy. They were like, they had skulls on them or were neon, and they were very 90-ish, early 90s type vibe to them. Look them up. Maybe they still make them. I don't know. Let me see.
I'm sure you could find a way to have someone make it.
Yeah.
I do not trust this door. I think this is the door that... Yeah, this is just the door that leads to... those bugs.
Oh, yeah. Well, it says you can buy them on Amazon, but I don't know. I don't trust that to be the original. Oh, Zubaz has a website, so let's see. Oh, I guess they're still kicking, huh? Well, it looks like they probably got some kind of licensing deal with the NFL. Looks like that'll keep you in business for a bit. Maybe they even had it back then. I don't know.
Maybe I should go save.
Probably got a ton of ink ribbons at this point, right?
I think I got like 5 left.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
Forget. We'll play risky. I'll knock my number 5 out real quick and then take a breather with the listing.
Take a breather also. Because there are a couple other things we need to discuss.
And this one is actually going to be kind of touchy-feely, and I'm not a touchy-feely guy, as most people who know me will probably tell you. Oma and Opa's Den. Used to go visit them in Panama City all the time. Go to the house, use the neighbor's pool. A lot of fond memories there, but the Den. And obviously it's not something I could do anymore, and as time went on, didn't visit as much as I probably should have, but I did visit when I could. Plugging in the TurboGrafx and playing it there, or having the Sega Nomad for a weekend before it was returned, because that thing chewed through 6 AA batteries in 2 hours. It was just comforting, and they had that clock right there by the door.
Yep, the cuckoo clock.
Cuckoo clock,
right?
that would keep,
the old German cuckoo clock.
That would go off, yeah.
Right. I'm okay, hold up. I think this is leading to the boss.
Really?
I think.
Oh God, this is gonna be really short then.
I think. Take a minute to gather your resources, if you don't mind. That's not on my list, but now that you mentioned it, I wish I put it on my list, so I'm going to talk about it anyway.
You want me to move it where? Here?
Oh, no, I'm just saying, make sure you got enough stuff or whatever. Um,
I'll go save and then I'll see what
yeah,
happens.
save and see what happens. I too have fond memories of our grandparents had a house in Parker, Florida, which is basically Panama City, Florida. Oh, I love that house, man. A lot of fond memories of that house. Sitting in the den with Grandpa, like you said, watching Braves games.
I can literally still see the inside of that house.
Yep, watching Braves games on that little TV in the back in the den.
Yep.
It had that bar.
That led to like the
Yep.
room where you had a bunch of
The laundry room.
stuff.
Yeah, and the gardening, because our grandfather was a gardener. I mean, not a huge garden, but he was always in the.
He tended to a garden.
Tended to a garden. Right? They used to grow their own vegetables and stuff. So, a lot of fond memories of that house. I lived there for a bit when I got out of high school because our family lived in Pensacola, and I had at the time plans to go to the police academy there in Panama City, then join the army. But anyway, I lived with them for a good bit. A lot of fond memories of living there. Our grandmother met our grandfather in Germany during the war. Our grandmother was full German. So a lot of German stuff in the house. That clock, I think, was German. Yeah, a lot of fond memories. That if I'd have remembered to put that on my list, that probably would have been my number one, to be honest. I'm kind of getting, very, just thinking about it brings back a lot of really, really good memories.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. Going to Tyndall Air Force Base, there was a little beach right off the bridge. I don't know if you remember that beach. Our Uncle Gene used to have a place down there right by the beach.
Adam and I used to drive there quite frequently when we were able to drive.
Visits, because we used to live in Valdosta, Georgia, at Moody Air Base, which is not too far. It's in southern Georgia. We used to visit, going to Panama City Beach, going to the Miracle Strip Amusement Park. If you grew up in Panama City
on my list,
and you do the Miracle Strip Amusement Park,
and I will get to that.
Then I will not talk anymore about it because you'll get to it on your list. So yeah, definitely. You know what? I'm just making that my number one. Just our grandparents' place in Parker, Florida. That's a good one. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it, honestly. I'll knock one of mine off, one of my stupid ones. Knock off Zubaz Pants, I guess, because those were stupid. And I'll talk a bit more about the Miracle Strip when you talk about it. But I'll just make up ground and say one of mine, my number 5. Let me pick one. What's the next one on my list? Oh, this ties into the toy store things. Going through the department store catalogs during the holiday season at the toy section. Every Christmas, you would get these catalogs from the major stores. JCPenney, Sears, probably some other ones I'm forgetting. And you as a kid would immediately jump to the toy section. There was a toy section and they had all the toys listed. And you would grab a pen or a marker and circle the ones you wanted for Christmas. And you would, every day you would look at that. I mean, nothing would change about it, but you would look at it and just...
AVGN did a really good episode about that.
Look it up. If you grew up in that area, look at that episode. If you're curious and didn't grow up in the area, you're curious of what it was like, look at it. Yeah, it was like, this is before, obviously, everything was available on the internet. You could just look on your phone.
It was basically
you had a physical
Amazon
catalog.
before.
Right, you had a physical catalog, and you got to run through it and just get all excited about the possibility of all this stuff that you wanted or could get for Christmas or for your birthday or whatever. So my number 5, going through the toy section of the store catalogs during the holiday season. Now, it's not like you're going to breeze through these boss fights, so there are 3 of them.
Forgetting who you're speaking to. I'm the man who plays games blind on hard for the first time.
Well, yeah, you probably will kind of rush through it, but... Or at least, you know, it's not going to be a problem. Just to take a short break from the list, the movies we watched today.
I was pissed about Umbach.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like that version.
Was it the dubbing or
It was
the music? You mentioned the music.
A mixture of the music and the dubbing. I think they tried to make it too comedic, and that's kind of the problem with that era of martial arts movies and live action movies in general. Is they kind of miss how the tone is meant to be delivered with a lot of comedic timing in Chinese, Thai, Japanese movies with even a little bit of comedy in it. Even if it's meant to be comedic, just the comedic timing doesn't quite work to the same manner.
That's
and the
fair.
music choice was atrocious.
Okay.
And I'm shocked because it was a Luke Besson company, right? It was his production company that got the rights to it.
I think I commented to you. I didn't mind the dubbing so much because I know a lot of times in those dubs it doesn't sync up, and you just, as long as I understand what's going on, it's not that big a deal to me.
It's not even like syncing up with the voice. It's the delivery of the lines being given, I think, is what was getting to me.
I very much enjoyed the they're giving you that stuff, you're up against it.
Let's just see what it looks like first.
Very much enjoyed the action, some of the stunts and the martial arts and the fighting.
Right, apparently you learn. Wow, I didn't know we were this close to the end.
I did not either. I knew we were close, but not this close.
It's gonna be a short video. This happens sometimes to me. Usually I look stuff up to try and guess the pacing. Kind of gauge it.
Dr. Marcus?
No, you can't be. What's going on?
10 years ago, Spencer had me
Wesker
assassinated.
just needs 7 minutes. Not 10 years. Oh, there's Hunk. When can you miss him? Starting.
Time to die, Doctor.
I will take over your research.
Yeah, there's Mustache Swirling Birkin.
However, something wondrous happened.
You and I have two very different definitions of that.
Virus inside of my queen.
Do not try this at home with your own leeches.
My new life.
I live. Now I will have my revenge on Umbrella, and the world will burn in an inferno of hate. You'll pay for what you've done.
Yeah.
We'll see which one of us is gonna die.
Like, you could have chosen any outfit, and that's what you chose.
No, he's like Miss Leech from Puppet Master.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go yell on this stuff. Let's see. Let's at least see how this first part goes. Just maybe we can learn something. Don't use that. There you go. Here, it worked on the other ones. having no effect.
Hugs. Well, yeah, I did enjoy the Ungbok. Was that what it was?
Yeah.
It had really solid action and stunts. That was pretty neat. It was entertaining. Also, we watched, and it was my first time watching it, and I really, really enjoyed it, and I recommend it if you're looking for a slower-paced anime with a really good story. Wolf Children. About a woman who has to raise her, well, I don't want to spoil anything.
It's in the title.
Oh, okay. Her kids are half wolf, half human.
And we learned about it within like the
That
first
is true.
part.
Okay. She has 2 kids with a werewolf, and he dies. And the kids are half wolf, half human. She has to raise them. But it's very well done. Slower paced, but a very good story. Very touching story. And I highly recommend it. It would be top 30 for me, anime probably. But my anime list is limited compared to most, people that like anime, I'm sure. And we finished it up with a classic Muppet Christmas Carol, which is always good. If you're a fan of the Muppets, you've probably seen it. If you're not, check it out. It's one of the better Muppet movies. It's a classic. It's got Michael Caine. And it's pretty much the classic Christmas Carol story.
Yes, both very good movies. Highly recommend them. Haven't seen them. Well, since we're here, let me just start blazing through the list a bit.
Yeah.
Number 6, we did touch up on it. I guess it's kind of like music stores are what arcades. I had a different category just because I go into, music stores. You'd probably find more of them outside of a mall too.
Yeah.
In an arcade. I miss going there because you would find different albums at different stores, and also searching physically for a new band by looking at the art on.
Yep.
I still use that method, but much more rarely nowadays. And much like malls, you would always run into the same people, because usually if people were big into music, they would constantly keep going back to the stores to see what's new, what's released, to follow their favorite bands, see what new bands were coming out. And it honestly felt like back then that there were new bands worth checking out. It was almost like an event every time a new band did crop up on the scene. Oh, you can't carry it.
I think I mentioned, it might have even been last video, I used to bike down to the record store in North Dakota just to check out the t-shirts.
Right, yeah.
Like they had all the record stores used to have sections with the t-shirts of the bands, and like Metallica used to have all those ones with that one artist, Pusshead.
Yep.
I think he only worked exclusively with Metallica. It might maybe later on other bands, I'm not sure, but yeah, used to pick up shirts every now and then. Those classic crazy concert or not even the concert ones, just the band t-shirts.
Just the band.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to start kind of rapid firing. 7. I miss my mullet, jean jacket, and jeans. Look, Sure, I could sport that now, but at my age, then I just come off as like a crackhead Matthew McConaughey. So, I sported that look pretty darn solid. When I went to get my hair cut recently, because I donated for the Locks for Love, the young lady who cut my hair was talking about how her dad used to have this, and she kind of laughed, and it's like, I did too. Because I guess she didn't realize how old I was. So I had a laugh about that. I'm like, yeah.
We used to have, growing up, we used to call them ducktails.
Okay.
You would do that little piece that grows a bit longer in their back. It would just be a little bit. I think they were also called rat tails, maybe.
Rat tails, yeah.
Yeah.
Party in the back, business in the front.
Oh, yeah. Let me cover a couple of mine. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My number 6. This is one of those I'm not sure if they do it anymore, because I'm not out like researching this kind of stuff, but I kind of feel like kids don't do it anymore. Because, and I might be stereotyping kids growing up these days, they seem like they're always on their phones. Climbing trees. That's it, just climbing trees. Find the biggest, baddest tree in your neighborhood and just climb up it.
Right.
Sometimes for no reason. You'd be hanging out with your friends, and then there'd be a tree, and it's almost like
a magnet.
Yeah, it's like instinctual. You're like talking with your friends, and next thing you know, you're both walking over to the tree, and then you're climbing the tree, and then you're up in the limbs. Climbing trees. Yeah.
So I don't have to do this every time. Let me say it again.
So in my mind, I'm thinking that kids they don't climb trees anymore. If you are
still of that age and you climb a tree, good on you. Well, why don't we climb trees?
Yeah.
What's stopping us?
Well, I'm 51. I'm not climbing any trees. And I'm also afraid of heights.
Excuses.
Even tree size heights. And I used to jump out of airplanes in the Army, people. That's a whole separate issue.
That's a good one. I like
climbing trees.
Problem is, I can't find a tree I can climb.
Yeah, we got rid of the ones
in
in the
branches are so freaking high up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Find a good climbing tree.
Oh man, like you used to know it when you saw it, right?
Yep.
You'd be like, look at that tree. I'm gonna conquer that tree right there.
That's the one for today. And if not, tomorrow. Maybe the next day.
I'll go with my number 7 is actually one I've talked about before. And this is something I'm glad I got to grow up with. Because I think there was value in doing this. Going out and actively having to research stuff, for example, by going to a library.
Oh, yeah.
When you had to do a paper,
Dewey Decimal.
You went to the card catalog at the library and you had to find a stack of books to find all your research. And this is one of those things where, yes, it is convenient to be able to look up stuff on your phone when you need the information. But I think there is value in having to, physically take the time and the care.
But what if they didn't have the book?
Oh, you better find some other alternative.
You go somewhere
right?
else.
You go somewhere else.
Library.
Go somewhere else. Try to find another source. You would have to find a way to get that information, right? You couldn't just look up another website, or go scroll somewhere else. Or look at Google for the next option on that's listed on the page. Yeah, I think there was value in that, to take the time and the effort, if you cared about doing good on your paper, to actually research something. Have to cite all your sources and all this, So that's my number 7, having actually researched stuff at say, a library.
My number 8, because again, we're right at the last boss. You brought it up, Miracle Strip.
Miracle Strip
And
Amusement
the best part
Park.
about Miracle Strip Amusement Park is it was right next to Shipwreck Island. and
Yep.
you could get
Shipwreck Island.
a combined pass where you would spend all day at Shipwreck, and then at night you go to Miracle Strip.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that was my senior trip.
Really?
Yeah, we went there.
Cool. I think Shipwreck Island this might still be there,
Last time I remember it was.
but Miracle Strip
Yeah,
is
Miracle Strip,
clearly
yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, like I mentioned, lots of fond memories growing up going to the grandparents in Parker. So obviously we did go to the Miracle Strip many, many times growing up. I remember the Abominable Snowman ride,
Yep.
that crazy, crazy house, loud house. It wasn't really a haunted house, though they did have a haunted house.
There was the Bullet, which was that one like two-seater that would
Yep,
go like really
yep.
fast. Kind of like a mini Viking ship.
Yeah. They had a wooden roller coaster,
Yes.
old school wooden roller coaster.
Yeah, and to tie it into maybe a larger theme, you're gonna see me stop a lot because again we're right at the end.
Yeah, we're gonna take our time from here on out.
Amusement parks that weren't Disney World, Universal, you know, the real big ones.
Yeah.
Those are all fine and good, right? Your Busch Gardens. But I always like those smaller ones because sometimes you'd find something really special there.
Yeah.
And they were also small enough that you could enjoy it for a quick visit where you didn't feel like you had to spend a week.
Mm-hmm.
You could go in, pop in for a night, drive back, and you'd
Yeah.
be...
You didn't have to stay at a
Scratch that
hotel there, you know?
No, yeah.
I mean, they didn't have hotels. They were so small. They were local. They had local flavor to them almost, right?
Right.
And the Miracle Strip was right by the beach, too. You could,
Yep.
if you didn't want to go to Shipwreck, you'd spend your day at the beach.
Which is,
And
we
then you go to
would
Miracle
do Shipwreck Island during the day, Miracle Strip part of the night, hang out at the beach later into the night. My number 9 is again Dugout. The Dugout.
Oh, I remember that. Okay.
Rest in peace, Big John, Little John. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah.
It was a family-owned business. It was a nerd shop. Not really. It mostly sold like comic and card stuff, but they always have a section in the back. Or when they moved to their second location in the front area, where you could do Warhammer or tabletop role-playing game stuff. And by that extension, Labyrinth was another one in this area. It was in Pensacola. I used to frequent. And people, the same group of nerds that you knew in school would meet up there. You know, whether it was playing Magic the Gathering back when it first came out, or Star Wars, the trading card game, Lord of the Rings. You know, you'd have so many different Overpower, you name it, we played it. And it was just a nice hangout spot, and that's what I feel is missing for a lot of young people today. Or maybe I just don't know the hangout spots that they hang out at. So if you do, just it sounds weird. I'm curious, like outside of being on devices or talking on,
They hang out in
online,
chat rooms.
you know, we physically would have to hang out.
Yeah.
And Dugout and Labyrinth was kind of it if we felt like we didn't want to go to the mall, for example.
I'm going to tie that into my number 8 because I don't have a specific place, even though I did, grow up in my high school years work at the family baseball card comic book store, Vince's Baseball Cards up in Taunton, Massachusetts. That's not specifically what this entry is. My entry is just collecting cards. I used to collect all kinds of cards, sports cards, baseball cards primarily. And we used to, growing up, you didn't care about, it's more of a hobby these days where it's about how much the cards are worth. When I was growing up, it was opening that pack of cards with that really hard, gross stick of gum.
Yeah, right.
And just trying to get the cards to fill your team sets.
That would break your teeth as soon as you bit into it.
And I remember I got this plastic card holder for baseball cards as a, instead of getting money because I lost teeth from the tooth fairy. and it had slots or a number of slots for each team. I think back then there were only 26 baseball teams. We're talking about the 80s now, maybe 28. You would have a slot for each team, and so you would buy the packs of cards, and each team had their own checklist, and you would try to get enough cards for the teams, and you would. It sounds crazy to do these cards these days, but you would put a rubber band around it to make sure they stay together. Yeah, just collecting cards in general, not just sports cards, baseball cards, but I remember collecting Star Wars cards. They had their own card sets. Indiana Jones cards, Raiders of the Lost Ark, the first movie. They had their own cards I used to collect growing up. This is in the 80s, the early to mid 80s. So that's my number 8. Just collecting cards, going and buying those packs, not knowing what's in them, other than you're getting that stick of gum, and then hoping you got those cards you were missing to fill your collection. And trading them with your buddies, too. Okay, well, there's form number 1.
Great. It took a lot of rounds.
You just shot him with a magnet.
Something else. Thanks. Yeah, collecting. I don't really collect as much as I used to. I've kind of hit my peak on collecting things. Role-playing game books, mostly. I kind of go for more obscure stuff now since I've completed like my Werewolf the Apocalypse collection, some Shadowrun stuff. I'd love to do some Ravenloft or maybe Spelljammer, Dark Sun, but those are expensive as crap. Comics, there's just way too many, so I usually opt for like an omnibus of sorts. I was doing the TMNT classic Eastman and Laird, but I think they had another falling out. Because you could tell as they went on that, wait. That said, I will list my number 10 real quick. You can pop in when you get back. I miss, legitimately, car lighters. Car lighters served a multitude of purposes. From lighting cigarettes, of course, was like the primary. But you could use it to heat things up, to stay warm when it was cold. It just added that extra bit of utility to your vehicle. I ended up using it far more than you would think, especially when I was in the Marine Corps. And I would be driving to a formation or something somewhere and realize, crap, I forgot to get rid of that IP, that Irish pennant. That's what I was always told they were called. I forgot the history behind it. And I would use that to kind of clean up my uniform. And it also meant I didn't have to carry around a lighter. Whether I was on a date or something and they were a smoker or what have you. But yeah, car lighters, something that probably seems really strange to people.
Yeah, even if you weren't a smoker, you used it for something.
And I guess by extension, I could also argue like old phone, old payphones, phone books, because the phone books, they were a pain in the butt to use, but getting drunk and having like tests of strength, it felt like Mortal Kombat, if you remember, and they'd have to test your might.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my top 10, with obviously my number 1 being the grandparents' house, right?
Yeah. I got 2 more. My number 8.
Oh, what was I talking about before I started ranting about that? You remember? Oh, not the list. I was rambling about something else.
Oh.
Yeah. Here you go.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? We were literally just talking about it right before you left, so I'll be right back. I'm going to test something out here with this. It was collecting stuff, but Eastman and Laird, I wanted to, I mean, I could be completely off base with this, but I noticed when the editions first started, after every comic in the TMNT collections I was buying, there would be like 2 pages, 2 pages for Eastman, 2 pages for Laird, just writing about the issue, talking about their thoughts behind it. And as the collections went on, they started getting shorter. Like, you could tell at first they were fine to work together, but maybe something happened between them collaborating on this. That things weren't working out. And after like volume 6 or 7, I think they stopped. It's been many years now since they released one of those. But collecting things, I mean, I'm Warhammered out. I've got probably like $50,000 worth of Warhammer figures from over the years just collecting. Miniatures in general. I wouldn't say I collect video games, but okay, I'm done. Sorry.
All right. My number 8 is going to seem kind of weird.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of this probably seems kind of weird if you didn't grow up with it. Reading newspapers. Like, I know print for the most part is dead, and I'll include magazines on this too. Getting magazine subscriptions. Like, for example, for me growing up, it was Sports Illustrated. I used to get a subscription to. I was a huge wrestling fan growing up in my high school years, in my early high school years. I used to get Pro Wrestling Illustrated in the mail. RIP, you remember RIP? I don't know if you remember RIP magazine. EGM. EGM was Electronic Gaming Monthly, and Game Pro were my 2 gaming magazines growing up.
And Game Pro had the face rating system.
Yep. They had Fun Factor and all that.
Yeah,
right?
that's what was Fun Factor.
We used to get those in the mail too. So reading newspapers and periodicals in general, getting those in the mail, being excited because you knew
I'll be right back.
the new issue was coming, and included with reading newspapers. Back before you had access to this information in cell phone, this is where the weird part comes in. I miss having to look up movie times in the newspaper. You would have to find your local cinema, the one that's closest to you, and you would have to actually, look up what movie you wanted to see and what time it was on. Then you would call your buddies and say, hey, this movie's showing at this time. You want to go with this one? And you had to coordinate it, and it's one of those things where, like I talked about before, it's you got the information, it's easy, and it is convenient to look on your phone and find movie times. Oh, look at that. And actually be able to buy the tickets. It is convenient, but I don't know, there's just something about, opening up the newspaper and having to look up the movie times. I don't know, it almost seemed like kind of an adventure in itself, especially when you were younger. It was kind of something to do that got you excited for the movie that was coming up. And actually before the internet became a thing, there was, in between looking it up in the paper and the internet, there was Movie Phone, which was like I'm pretty sure it was nationwide, phone number that you would call. I was explaining as an aside about the movie thing, how in between that the information being on the internet and in the newspaper, Movie Phone was a thing.
Oh, movie
where you'd have to call and then you'd be like, press 1 for, Star Wars, for example, or whatever. And then you would press 1, and then you would press another number for, location or however it was. But it was like an automated Movie Phone dialing service where you would some recorded voice would tell you the times for your the movies at your local theater.
No, it still has this recording or a live stream.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to fix that.
Yeah, well.
Anyway.
Was that your number 10?
Nope, my number 10.
Oh, real quick then. Let me
Go ahead.
back off that.
Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Also, phone numbers? Or for the, phone numbers. Do you remember those? You remember having to remember those.
Yes.
But I was going to say hotlines for video games.
Yeah.
Crap. I think it's that button. There was that.
It was insanely expensive, if I remember.
Yeah.
Like $5 for the first minute, or I don't even know.
Like $3 for the first minute and 99 cents for every additional minute or something like that. Okay, there we go.
Oh, I got an honorable mention now that you mentioned that. Crap. I'll wait till I'm done because it's not on my list. This is kind of fun now because these things are coming to me.
I was going to say, in regards to the magazine thing, I used to get White Dwarf.
Oh,
Back then,
yeah.
It was worth a lot to get White Dwarf because a one-year subscription would net you a whole regiment for Warhammer. So you'd pay, I don't know, like $100, $80 a year. Get 12 issues, or however many it was, and you get like a free 20-unit Skaven clan rats or something. You get to pick. So that was always a nice value. Because that in and of itself would be like $30 or $40.
I'm actually going to pivot. Give me a second. Distract them. I'm going to change my honorable mention to my number 10. And then I'll still mention my honorable mention because
sure.
it's kind of a
Just gonna use this to
broad. Penny. All right, so my number 10. There was this thing. I'm pretty sure it's not a thing anymore. It can't be a thing anymore. And it might have bled into after, or it might have lasted after I got out of high school. Well, I'm pretty sure it did. But when I was growing up, they had this thing in magazines where you would pay a penny. You would literally tape a penny and mail it in. And for 1 penny, you would select like 12 cassettes off this massive list of cassettes.
Oh, yeah.
And then you would be obligated to buy like, I'm just making this up, but it was like maybe 5 more cassettes for full price over a course of a year or something like that. Used to do that constantly to build up your collection.
You were contractually obligated. Yeah, I remember that.
But it was pretty cool. You would tape a penny and mail it in, and I mean, for me, I would get, you get your parents to help because when I started doing this, when I first started doing it, I was, a younger person. It was pre-high school. And they would mail it in and just get you were so excited because you got to pick 12 tapes of all these bands you're interested in. And then, you had to wind up buying 5 at full price or however it was. And I couldn't even honestly tell you if it was a big deal, if it was worthwhile deal to do. But it was a really kind of a neat, exciting thing to do to get all those tapes coming in at once. Start your tape collection.
I'll have a bunch of mine until you're done.
Well, cassette tapes, I guess. I might have to explain what cassette tapes are to some people. Before you could get
they're coming back into fashion. Johnny.
Johnny, yeah. We used to have cassettes, that we would have our music on.
Used to do mixtapes too.
Mixtapes. Sometimes you would have to wind up the tapes with a pencil, stick it in there, and wind it up.
You would tell who was into music if they had a pencil in their car.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to hit it with any of that. I guess it is. Wow, that was a whiff. I think it's dead.
Yeah, it's got the pool of blood under it. Band name.
I think it's dead.
I was thinking pool of blood, but that too.
Do it. Shoot the leeches at the acid. Actually, I don't think there are anymore. I think we stepped on all of them.
Well, that's our top 10s, right?
Oh, was that your 10?
Yeah.
Well, there you go, folks. That's 2 top 10 lists for the price of 1 video. That is 2 different paths walking and strolling down nostalgia lane, or maybe just a bit of history if you weren't alive then, which depresses us.
Very much.
But we're more than happy to share it with you. Please let us know down below some of yours. Don't be sad that you lost it. Be happy that you lived it.
Yeah.
Okay? That's what I try and tell people. Because I do have people I know who do kind of long for a lot of this and they get depressed or sad or upset about it. I'm like, imagine all the people out there that never got to experience that.
Yeah.
All right? Be happy that you had those experiences.
And I'm going to throw this out as an honorable mention. I had included it on my list. I'll probably have more as I think of them, but...
No, I'll have more.
And this... Oh, I just thought of another. So, well, let me do this honorable mention first. I miss growing up and not having a cell phone.
Okay.
Because as convenient as a cell phone is, I turn mine off a lot. Like when I leave work, I keep it on at work, and I used to turn it off at work, but then the problem was where I work has horrible reception. I would just periodically turn it off for like an hour just to get it off for an hour.
Right.
But then when I turned it back on, I wouldn't know if I get reception, so it got kind of annoying in case I needed to use it. But when I leave work up until a certain point at night, it is off. Like I'll turn it off for a couple hours and not even care about it. I had a job once where the person in charge had asked me to call my supervisor, and I had to turn on my phone. And she literally said to me, "Wow, I didn't know people turn their phones off." And I'm like, "Oh, I do it as often as I can." And then again, as I've mentioned before, I understand the convenience of it. And yes, I use my phone all the time, of course, because it is convenient. And I need to use it for work and for personal stuff. But, you know, we didn't know any better because they weren't around back then. And we were perfectly fine. And I don't know, as I get older, I get less... not really frustrated, but just, you know, I see people on their phones all the time, and it's like, look up, open your eye. I see people walking in my apartment complex, walking together, like walking their dogs, and each person, they're walking with someone I assume they live with in the apartment complex, and each one of them is on their own phone, and it's like, put it away. Talk to the person next to you, you know, it's... Yeah, I guess that really is an old man yelling at cloud moment, but I honestly, I'm just being honest about it. I kind of miss it, you know. I'm glad I grew up without it, you know.
Right. And the one I'm going to tie in with that is and it's going to go hand in hand with a couple of things here. I miss the no phones because it required you to use a map. And it felt like an adventure whenever you went driving instead of just following orders.
Oh, yeah.
It also encouraged you to talk to people on the way to find out if you're going in the right direction, maybe if there's a quicker route. It would also encourage you to talk to them to find out about any good places to eat, because now what do people do? They just Google and see what's in the area to eat. And then they use that to kind of look through the different pinpoints. It really cut down on people socializing in that manner.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed using maps and trying to figure out how to get somewhere. Because when I was stationed out in California, I was in the stumps. And if you're in the Marine Corps, you know, first of all, thank you for your service. And if you're out in the stumps, I'm sorry. Still one of the best stations to be at, because you are... It's one of those places where you're far away from... How do I word this? You are... very far away from anything, but close to everything, if that makes sense. You have to drive a bit, but if you go 3 hours pretty much in any direction, you are going to be somewhere pretty cool.
And we're talking, like, you know, pre-graduating high school. We're talking even before MapQuest was a thing.
Right. Before MapQuest, before Garmin.
Yep, where you would physically have like a map. You'd have either an atlas, or like each state would have their own like fold-out map.
Crap, Adam and I, again, we would go to Omaha and Opaz. We would literally take different routes that we knew nothing about just to see where it would take us. You know? But yeah, it kind of forced you to at least talk to people in that manner. That way, you know, no one was just like looking at a map and not conversating with people usually. Now you just, I've had people I know admit to me, they're like, yeah, I don't know how to get there. And even though they've lived here for a long time, if not the majority of their life, because they just look at their phone and have their phone tell them where things are at. I miss toy commercials. Because usually they were kind of, you know, I know they were trying to sell stuff to kids, but even when I was, you know, close to graduating high school, it was always neat to see what kind of special effects they might use, or practical effects or something, because the toy and even by extension cereal wars of those days were pretty heated. Pretty interesting. And now it's like, I don't know, you don't really see too many.
I miss... Hold on, I'm going to type this out on my phone that I'm using that I didn't have growing up.
I use pen and paper. Paper are dead trees.
Going home after school and rushing to get home because you knew at, whatever, 2:30, 3 o'clock, the G.I. Joe cartoon was on one of the 3 stations you got on your TV that you didn't have a remote for, that you had to turn the knob to turn the channel to.
Limitations of choice. Maybe. I might be thinking of it in a different manner. My manner is even... Okay, to kind of extend it a bit beyond Breaking Bad. When Breaking Bad was released, an episode would drop. You would go to work, you would go to school, and you know what people would be talking about? Breaking Bad. Because everybody would tune into the same channels, because that's what they had access to. It's much similar to, hey, did you watch the new Batman the Animated Series, the new G.I. Joe episode? Or by extension, Saturday morning cartoons. I
That
think
that
those
was
aren't a thing anymore.
that was part of my thing. Saturday morning cartoons.
Sci-fi anime, for those of you that remember when sci-fi used to know how to spell the damn word properly.
I was thinking more of the excitement as, getting off the school bus, rushing to get home, turning on the TV, making sure you got there in time to catch the opening sequence of whatever
Set
show.
to record.
Yeah, back then didn't have that stuff. Yeah, like I said, on the old school TVs that you didn't have remotes for.
Beta?
Oh, Beta, yeah, Beta's another thing.
I mean, there's
right?
a couple
Yeah.
extra steps you had to go through to set it up. But
I'm thinking in my mind, like when I first started watching the G.I. Joe cartoon, was at Moody Air Force Base. I don't think we did have a VHS. Well, I don't know if we had a VHS player until we got to Germany, maybe. Or maybe we had it at Moody at one point, but and as an extension of that, as you mentioned, the Saturday morning cartoons.
yeah, that was a government mandate, if I remember. That's the only reason it existed.
With the
Saturday morning
Oh.
cartoons, like late 60s, early 70s, they were like, you need to put on programming for kids. And the networks picked a time slot that was bad to meet like the federal regulation that they passed, saying that there needs to be something for children. Educational is what they were originally going for. And it kind of blew up. And everybody was kind of shocked that, this became like the hour that kids collectively across the United States. And if you are from another country outside of the U.S., let us know. Did you all have something like that?
Yeah. Like comic books used to have those advertisements where it had each bunch of characters from the shows talking to each other.
Right.
About what they were doing that Saturday and all this and that and fun stuff. And you would grab your favorite cereal, sit in your pajamas, and watch your Saturday morning cartoons.
This was not one boss fight into another boss fight.
Oh, is there?
There's a safe room right here. It's
Okay.
I
Okay.
went all the way back there. Looks like it's handgun bullets. Do you want handgun bullets, buddy? We'll see. If we need to, we'll go back and get the handgun stuff. But
Yeah, I couldn't remember how much stuff was in between the different phases. I guess I could have looked it up for you.
yeah,
So.
that's fine.
In fact, now that I mentioned the sitting in your pajamas eating the cereal, South Park had that episode where they did the Wacky Racer spoof, where all the adults, remember that? They were all sitting in their pajamas eating the cereal like when they were kids. That's pretty much what it was like, man.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Oh yeah, now you're really at the end. That was all there then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry too much about.
They may as well just put up a big sign that says boss fight coming up. Oh, here's another one. Okay, that elevator. Yeah, okay.
Great. Elevator boss fight?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you'll see later. And this is, I'm sure this is still done, but I'm also absolutely certain it's not to the degree it was. Learning how to drive on a standard.
Okay.
I can't imagine it's done as much as it used to be. That's how I learned. Didn't matter if the car you were getting was automatic or not. I remember Uncle Joe used to take me out, and
What?
he would force me to drive. And I remember because this upset me. He would force me to drive with the radio off because I had to listen to when to change gears by listening to the engine, right? So that's another honorable mention that probably could have been on my list at some point, at some slot. Learning how to drive on a standard. I honestly don't know if I could. I could probably still drive on a standard, but
It's one of those things like riding a bike.
yeah.
Alright, Meadle Vortex Beast. What do we got going on here?
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
What am I supposed to do?
I think you just have to weaken it enough. I think the next two fights are in that area, so you don't move to another area. Wow. Yeah, yeah. Okay, this is where you're gonna be Billy. And you just have to cover Rebecca.
Billy, can't handle sunlight.
Why can't it handle sunlight?
Well, you know, leeches are hurt by sunlight. They didn't teach you that in a science class when you were learning about leeches.
Resident Evil Village was planned as far back as this. Demetrescu and the three daughters and sunlight.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Distract Your Majesty.
Oh god, southwest, northwest, southeast.
All personnel evacuate immediately. Repeat.
Yep, so they knew what they were doing, Village.
Has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. Repeat.
Try that again. I tried to switch to her. I said try that again later.
Yeah, so pretty much you just gotta keep it busy while she does that.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. Repeat. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. Repeat. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate
Running out of ammo.
immediately.
Yeah. Can she not? I can't remember. She can't
Yeah,
give
she can
you.
do stuff.
Yeah.
You coming after me or her? Okay.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. Repeat.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this appears to not be nearly as tough as I had made it out to be.
The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel
I mean, I don't know if you can reach her up there.
repeat.
Anyway. Good call.
She's got like 2 more healing things, so.
The self-destruct system
Crap,
has
she's only
been
got one more to do,
activated.
right?
All
Right.
personnel evacuate immediately. Repeat.
Take your time, Rebecca. You might have just enough.
The self-destruct systems have been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. Repeat.
Yeah. Enjoy.
Alright. Yeah, that was the first part. May have been tough, but
Well, this was a lot,
Yeah, that was-
not
yeah.
really what I thought it was. But as I stated before, it had been a while since I played it. So, but enjoy the cutscene.
oh, it's a cutscene, so I don't have to do anything. Right?
No.
No quick time with it?
Nope.
Perfect. No, it should have been a rocket launcher.
Hey, Queenie! Feast on this!
So yeah, good on Capcom. They knew they wanted to do vampires as far back as Resident Evil 0.
Test run.
Rebecca, hurry!
That's why the light hurts. Bigger explosion than any of the rocket launchers.
Yeah.
You finally take them off?
Yeah.
And she's like, my job ain't done.
No.
That must be the old mansion that Enrico was talking about.
You're dead.
I guess it's time to say goodbye. Officially, Lieutenant Billy Cohen is dead.
Yeah, I'm just a zombie now.
Oof. That's why you were arrested.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Aww.
Never to be heard of again.
Yep.
Alright. And it took me much longer than the average time, but part of that is we do these top 10 lists. And also, doing it in this 2OG style format. Slowed down the gameplay a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
Yeah.
these videos aren't about giving you playthroughs in the sense that you see most of them, or walkthroughs. These videos are just about hanging out.
Yeah.
So that's what we kind of go for.
And this was our first time doing this.
Yeah, it's alright.
This kind of thing where one person who has never played it plays, while someone who has played it sits and just kind of, goes along for the ride, gives advice here and there. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, like the grate in that box puzzle. So there is some extra stuff to do. Leech Hunter is it's kind of a fun little game where you can collect leeches and you drop them off at like a central point. And I think the number of leeches that you collect, you get different unlockables. I think if you collect all of them, there's like 50 of one color, 50 of another, something like that. You get like, I think, infinite ammo magnum, maybe rocket launcher. I can't remember. I know I did it once because there's a trick to doing it, where they suggest you run through, pick up the leeches, but don't collect them, because you can only have like 10 in one slot. There's like some trick to doing it where it's super easy. Where you basically just run around and kill everything first, and then you just go, picking them up and then dropping them off at the point. But it's a fun little game to get some extra unlockable weapons and stuff.
Was this Capcom's first like alternate game mode? Because I know eventually they do something like Mercenaries.
No, three was. Did 2 have? I can't remember if 2 had something. I know 3 had like a timed mode, kind of like Mercenaries.
Okay. Because I haven't played 3.
God, wait. Hold on. I'm gonna look this up because I think I remember the name. It was Operation something. I gotta look this up because I remember this because when I played 3, it was in. I was in Korea, and I did this mode. RE3.
Let's see, we got this to go a little longer than normal.
Yeah. Okay, I got it. Hold on. This was, I think, the first Mercenaries. It was called Operation Mad Jackal. I remember that. And it was from the original Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. And after you beat the game, and it says here it's available from the start on the PC and Dreamcast, but PS1 and GameCube after completion. Unlockable minigame in Resident Evil 3, which you unlock by completing the main game. It follows the 3 UBCS soldiers from the story throughout Raccoon City as they kill zombies and other creatures. And I think that's how you unlock things.
Right. I kind of wish they'd go back to that.
Because I remember unlocking, I think, like the rocket launchers. Unlockables, they're given a grade and you get money, and then you can use the money to buy stuff, basically. So, yeah, and I kind of...
Uh-oh. Whoa! Was this in the original Resident Evil 0?
No.
Okay, I was about to say, this is very Resident Evil 5, right? With Jill?
Yes. I don't remember that look for Rebecca.
Even with the maybe? I don't know, I can't tell. Looks like there's something right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it? It does. I don't think it's quite the same thing, but I don't remember the Rebecca look, but I do remember that with the remake or remaster of Zero, you can actually play through as Wesker, and he's got Wesker Fu powers.
Right, because he gets those. I haven't played it, but I've seen enough and heard enough with Veronica, right? There's like a cutscene. I won't spoil until we get there because I haven't played that one, and that's going to be next on the docket for this style of 2Gs. Starting next weekend, we'll be going back to a bit of an older style. And then once we beat Veronica, we'll go back to a different older style where we'd sit on the PlayStation and we'd play co-op games together. This is just a test thing we're going to do and see about single-player stuff.
Oh, duh. Of course, 2 had Hunk and Tofu.
That's right, Hunk and Tofu.
And also Extreme Battle, which... I don't know if it was available on everything. It was... Okay, it was a 98 DualShock re-release.
All right.
So it wasn't on the original.
It wasn't on Black Box.
And then it appeared on everyone after it, so...
Well, you know what? I'll be doing those eventually.
Yeah.
2029 is my classic Resident Evil Dino Crisis playthrough, which will be the first time I've touched those since ages like 15 years.
But I don't think 1 had any extra game modes until they did Remake, where it had like one dangerous zombie and maybe some other stuff.
So, review time?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me do this, and then we'll jump into it. Ryan's Writing Review Systems, a review system developed by the world's leading third grade elementary school science fair winners out of Raccoon City alongside aliens from whatever planet maybe it takes place on in Dino Crisis 3.
Oh God.
You remember that?
Yeah, I never played it, but
Me neither.
I've seen it. I've seen it being played.
Where they developed a time-traveling device in an Antarctic bunker to travel back in time to learn the ancient arts of mysticism, alchemy, and magic from apparently Marcus, because he looks like he dresses from that
Yeah.
in this game for some reason.
He was LARPing.
He's the LARPer. And then travel in the far-flung future to learn future Wesker sciences combined together to bring to you, through me, the best, most objective, honest stories, totally rad and tubular. Cowabunga. Review system found past, present, future, timeline, multiverse, universe, reality, galaxy, Milky Way, planet, country, no gaming magazine, no GameSpot, no Game Pro, no EGM, no gaming website, no other YouTube channel has it, except you. I guess I ruled the first game, or is that not for the Wesker mode? That should be.
The clear.
It's that one.
Yeah.
And the review's broken up into 3 categories: B, A, and D. B stands for boring, A stands for awesome, and D stands for dumb.
Maybe go to extra.
And each is measured by
Nah, that's just an each other then.
2 metrics. Metric 1 is thumbs. You got them. You got 2 of them. Thumbs up via Terminator 2 going into molten lava is good. Zangief styled side thumb, tongue twister, is okay, and thumbs down is bad. There's got to be a way to access it, right?
What, the Wesker thing?
Yeah.
Try loading that clear game. See if it gives you the option.
The other metric is check marks. Green check mark good, gray check mark okay, red check mark bad. So getting into it, boring. Was I bored? I'll be completely honest with you.
Try once again.
It would have to be extra game. Maybe there's a switch button. How to play. Whoa, there's music.
Oh, that's right. They can only carry certain colors.
Oh, okay. That's kind of neat. I wasn't bored, and I think, to be fair to the game and to you, I wasn't bored because I've never played this. I had no idea what was coming up. I had no idea what to do outside of whatever he told me, whether I asked or if I didn't, and he was just trying to help out. So it was fresh, it was new. An old game that was fresh and new. Mix that with bosses being a puzzle sometimes, not really. The bosses in this were kind of just shoot them until they're
Pretty much, yeah.
dead. There were some neat puzzles, even though I think I cheated through most of them.
Yeah.
Fine. Just to have something going on. Mixed with the old style combat, which I am a fan of. Fixed camera, exploring the hallways. I liked a lot of the environments, even though they're kind of, I wouldn't say standard or milquetoast, but they were a bit uninspired. But overall, I wasn't bored with it. And you had 2 different characters who, well, they don't quite do different things, but this was one of the earlier attempts of providing that feeling that the first game tried to give you, which was that there were other people going through the same thing you were. So that kept it interesting, and also having to manage between their health and ammo count, right? So overall, I wasn't bored. Sure, the villains weren't the greatest, but really with a Resident Evil game, you don't need well-written villains. You just need entertaining. And I honestly think I would have liked to have seen more crazy zaniness of Marcus. I don't think it would have hurt the game. I think it would have helped. But not bored. 1 thumbs up, 1 green check mark. Is it awesome? It's a Resident Evil game that I haven't played. I got a Marine rep, even though nothing about him screams Marine at all, except him saying he's in the Marines, and he has dog tags. Still don't know what his MOS was. Did it ever say why he was arrested?
Oh, they massacred a village. And,
Oh, that's right.
He blacked
That's right.
out.
He
and
blacked
they
out.
blamed
Yeah,
him.
the whole I didn't want to shoot him, and yeah. So that's all awesome. Leeches can be cool, right? Everyone has shudders whenever they see Stand By Me. I like the idea of the Leech Man because it also reminds me of the hospital level, right? In an outbreak.
Yeah.
Even though they're kind of easy to avoid. I also liked how... I did like the fast enemies. It's going to be a shocker. I was not as bothered by them as I thought I would be. And it was kind of neat to see bosses in a Resident Evil game that were animals and how they were affected by the virus. Because outside of the crows and the dogs and Neptune, outside of the first Resident Evil, they kind of started to drift away from that a lot, I feel.
Yeah, there was in original 3 there's in original 3 there's Gravedigger, the worm.
Right.
And in 2 there's the alligator, which is really just in
Yeah, you got the dogs, but
for regular enemies.
in this
you get
we
the
had
dogs and the
giant
grasshoppers.
grasshoppers.
Spiders too.
We had a frog. We had bats. We had
Scorpion.
the scorpion. Thank you, and the what are they called again? The fast moving
Eliminators.
eliminators, right? So that was neat. So I would say also, despite it feels clunky at first, and because of our system here and how long it took for a break between picking up from one video to the next, and basically having to relearn the controls, switching isn't that much of a problem. It's just tapping the Y button. That is really awesome. I'm glad it wasn't some like really overly convoluted system. You could also tell them to stay here.
This way.
You can make them idle so they're not shooting. So they give you a degree of control over the AI companion, which is something I would have liked to have seen in some other games. Because I think they got rid of that, right? And one of the problems with 5 with Sheva was she would like waste a lot of ammo and stuff. It's been a while since
Yeah, I
probably
don't
played
since,
through it
since
without.
I played it solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't remember, honestly.
So that's awesome. Guess what that means? It gets a second thumbs up, a second green check mark. Now, last but not least, dumb. What is dumb about this game? The train level is the most interesting part. I think Marcus is underutilized as a villain. Kind of would have liked to have seen him appear more throughout. You could have dumped really the Wesker and Birkin cutscenes and just had it in files. That's what was
That's
going
fair.
down, and
That's
replaced it with Marcus stuff. The zip line was a neat idea, but it's just such a forced item that I feel it slows it down. And the biggest thing in the room, I did not mind having no save boxes, but what I did mind was having to move everything manually like that. I wish you could do this. Press right bumper, press A, pick up the item from here. Maybe you could, and I just never did it, but
No, I don't think so.
I think at least that would have helped make moving items go a bit quicker. What else would I say is dumb? there really wasn't a lot of like character development or enlightenment with Rebecca and Billy. I would have liked to see more of that. Also, more from the team. I feel like we didn't run into as many team members as we should have while playing this. Those are some minor dumbs. Oh, you know what's dumb? That animal puzzle. Like, that is a trial and error thing rather than a logic thing. It's kind of weird the order they wanted you to do that in. But outside of that, not too much dumb. We had no crashes from what I remember.
No.
Didn't run into any glitches or bugs. Well, we ran into bugs, but no those types of bugs. So, I mean, this is probably going to shock some people, but I'm struggling to think of anything that's like too dumb. Because you can exchange items in the inventory, and you can even reload your companion's weapon in the inventory and switch out. So basically, what you saw me do at the last boss, fire some shots, reload, switch to the other character in the menu by pressing Y. Their shots you would reload from there. I guess the biggest dumb thing about this game is there's a lot of interesting ideas that I feel they didn't fully commit to. So it becomes more of an annoyance than something they wanted to carry forward with, I guess, in regards to the rest of the series. I feel like this was very experimental or framework building for ideas that they were looking at to see how it would play out and see if they wanted to follow through with it. That's my guess. Capcom, you're more than welcome to join in any of the videos and leave a comment and let us know if I am on the mark with that or not. I'm going to say it, though. I don't think this is as bad or as dumb a game as some people have said in the past. Not you, just in general.
Right, yeah, no. Yeah.
I didn't find having to control two people cumbersome or difficult. The AI is very dim-witted. They do not move out of the way, so... But that's fine. I've played plenty of games where you have AI companions that don't do squat, other than stand there and get hit. So just bring healing items. Horde, that's what you gotta do. And because I don't think it's a dumb game, I've decided to join Team Marcus and think that if they do remake this, they should not change him in the slightest, and in fact, they should lean in heavier into it. And explain how he got that outfit that looks like it's from like the 1500s. And that's because we're all good boy and girl leeches. Leech monsters, because leeches don't have arms. We can give Resident Evil 0 a third thumbs up, a third green check mark. I recommend the game. If you are someone who has avoided this game because you're like, it's not as good as 1, 2, 3, or whatever, I think you owe it to yourself to give it a shot. And you might not think it's great, but if you're looking for a Resident Evil game you might not have played, and to scratch that itch, especially that old style Resident Evil with the fixed cameras, it wasn't too bad. Unless you have any thoughts on it.
No, we went over our ratings, our rankings. I don't know if you wanted to redo your rankings now that you've finished this, but I've always been a fan of it. I played the original on the GameCube. Of course, I'm biased because it is one of my top 2 series.
What my exact rankings were.
Yeah, we don't have to do that in.
Maybe after Veronica. I'll do that.
But I did enjoy it, and I still enjoy it. I think it's a fun game. I have many of the same concerns, like with the item boxes and everything, but once you've played it, you kind of get a feel for how to manage it. It's not that big a deal. And once you know, like, the hook shot things, that you want to move it forward and all that. Yeah, no, it's a solid entry. I think I had it somewhere in the middle, maybe towards the end. Certainly not the worst. I think it's actually looked upon more fondly as the years have gone by.
Right.
It's one of those type of deals. So if you're a fan of Resident Evil and you haven't played it, you absolutely, obviously should. And if you're not a fan, just check it out anyway, because it does have some pretty neat things and a pretty good ambiance, and some settings are pretty neat, and it's got that. It's pretty good for an old school Resident Evil game.
Yeah, and moving the items and everything. Remember, we took like weeks off between videos with this. So basically, every time I come back to it, I have to relearn everything control-wise again and figure out where we were. If you played it yourself without having to do a recording or do the 2OG format, you'd probably pick it up a lot quicker, and it's definitely less of a hassle, I feel, then.
One quick thing, do me a favor and go to try to pick up one of the leeches, but don't take it.
Oh, like this one?
Yeah. I don't know what color you can do.
I think Billy does blue.
Don't take it. Hit no. Now look at your map.
My map?
Yep. Move away from there and look at your map. Sorry. Yeah, that was the trick. The trick to Leech Hunter, if you want to know a really
that way
cool
you know
trick.
Where they're all at,
right. Go just don't pick them up,
okay,
and just map out where each one is, and then go through, kill all the enemies,
and then go pick.
And then go pick it up, because if I remember correctly, you can stack 10 of them in one inventory slot, and that way you can do the whole 50 in one run.
Well, there you go, folks. There's a bit of a tip or trick, which we don't do, but advice is what we call it. That's what I call it. Yeah. But I mean,
it's a solid game. It's fun. It's a fun
yeah,
game.
I'm looking forward to Veronica, because I think most people consider Veronica better, and honestly, I don't think this is a bad game.
Nah.
Compared to other games that Capcom have released that's Resident Evil style, Umbrella Corps, the two other failed online multiplayer games, what else did they do? I think the gun survivor types aren't really quite as good from what I remember, but I haven't played them in a long time. Resident Evil Gaiden. Honestly, I definitely rank this higher than the Revelation game I played. I haven't played 2 yet though.
No, it's better than both Revelations.
And any excuse to let me back into Raccoon City, I'm always there for it. Alright, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
Let's see anything else.
No.
Alright, folks, future schedule. Dragon Age 2. I will be finishing that up either tomorrow or Tuesday, and then I will be moving on to a viewer recommendation. That game is going to be a game called Arx Fatalis, which is a game I've never heard of, so I don't know what I'm getting into. And then after that, I'll be playing the best Tomb Raider game that ever released. My only experience with that series was playing all the way through 1 and part way through 2. We'll see how that goes. And then after that, I have a long list of games I'll be live streaming. I'm not sure what. As for 2OGs, this is not the end. Next weekend, we'll be picking back up with some EDF, so we're going to be squashing some bugs. And then June 18th, 19th, you said?
19th. I'll be
June 19th, he'll be back here, where we'll start Code Veronica.
Yep.
So, on top of that is going to be the daily video drops, which I don't know what it is going to be. I think it's Deus Ex and some other stuff, but I don't know. I set those to upload like a year ago, so we'll see how it goes. All right, folks. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, top 10?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
For my first time playing through Resident Evil 0 on, I guess, a normal difficulty.
Yeah.
Because I don't think... Yeah, normal. Because with these games of this caliber, you don't necessarily want to jump into hard.
Nah.
because older games tend to have higher difficulties on normal. And in this video, we covered our top 10 list is top 10 things we miss prior to graduating high school. That means from when we popped out of the womb to getting that diploma, walking off the stage, or whatever you did. In my top 10 list were malls, Toys R Us, not needing to wear seatbelts. It used to be a choice. Visiting Oma and Opa's den/house is my number one in the list. Chuck E. Cheese, music stores, my mullet and jean jacket with jean pants combo, Miracle Strip and Shipwreck Island, Dugout and Labyrinth, which were two like gaming stores in the area, and number 10, car lighters.
And my top 10 were malls, arcades, toy catalogs at the holiday times, toy stores, climbing trees, researching stuff at libraries, newspapers and periodicals, collecting cards, that penny tape thing where you would tape a penny, mail it in, get 12 cassettes, and then have to buy 5 more over the course of a year at full price. And my number one is also growing up and going to our grandparents' house in Parker, Florida.
There you go, folks. 2 top 10 lists for the price of 1 video. You're not going to find very big value for your buck anywhere else but here. Let us know down below some of the things that you, miss back in those days when you were grown up right before graduating high school, whether it was Saturday anime, Saturday morning cartoons, phone books, what happened. And thank you for joining. If you have any game recommendations, let us know. To my subscribers, y'all stay awesome and you have an amazing day. Or if you prefer stay amazing, have an awesome day. Drive by Redneck Beers. I'll catch you around later. Until then, y'all have a good morning, a good afternoon, and most importantly, a very great and scary Resident Evil 0 night.
Night, everyone.
All artwork is provided by my dear brother who knows how to draw, and I don't know. There we go. I didn't know that.
Thank
Worry